So how are local property rights and the Constitution related? The Constitution was initially written considering this initial phrase: life, liberty, and the pursuit of property rights. It was changed a bit, but let me read the preamble to the Declaration of Independence in the form in which it was spoken by Thomas Jefferson, and then I'll tell you about the form-based code. We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable, that all men are created equal and independent, that from that equal creation they derive rights inherent and inalienable, among which are the preservation of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these ends, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government shall become destructive of those ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government laying its foundation on such principles. Well, we fought the form-based code because we felt it was destructive to property rights owners. We have won a battle, but not necessarily the war, and I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. So what about this form-based code before your eyes start glazing over? Form-based code is an assault on property rights. About a year ago, a local Bloomington businessman, Dale Nafsinger, owner of Growing Grounds and the Lafayette Club, heard something on the radio, just in passing, about a form-based code under consideration by the cities of Bloomington and Normal. The blurb on the radio mentioned how this code might affect business codes. As a business owner along Main Street in Bloomington, which most of you know is also State Highway 51, running from the north end of Normal to the south end of Bloomington, his antenna went up. He got another business owner, Phil Bowles of Mugsy's, on the phone, and they started researching, asking a lot of questions, and informing other business owners, and it's a good thing they did. Over the course of the previous 2 years, below the public and media radar, and that's when it all kind of happens, the form-based code was being put into effect in Bloomington-Normal, and now we also recently find the wording also in the county's regional planning code, which we're going to be investigating. The form-based code is part of new urbanism. So whenever you hear those words, or even sustainable development, your antennas should go up as well. Please don't take this to mean that all form-based codes and new urbanism are the devil's spawn. We just happen to think so here. Sustainable development, for example, calls for changing the very infrastructure of the nation, away from private ownership and control of property to nothing short of central planning of the entire economy, often referred to as top-down control. Truly, sustainable development is designed to change your way of life. We who fought the form-based code here along the Bloomington-Normal Main Street corridor know through our experiences that this indeed was a top-down attempt to control how businesses operate. Here's how this type of code moves in. About 2 years ago, some folks who wanted the form-based code way of life brought in new urbanism consultant Doug Farr. You're going to like this story. Farr, as is the structure of new urbanism, conducted a series of what are called charrettes. That sounds so pleasant. Charrettes are a series of meetings, I call them bogus meetings, at which community members, media, and other interested parties are invited to voice their desires for a particular type of project. A charrette is kind of a workshop where folks work on a consensus of a design plan. This was all brought about, the public thought, to improve the Main Street corridor's look. People were shown photos. It's like you all gathering today. Please tell me how would you like Bloomington-Normal to look. And oh yes, I'm really going to take all of you into consideration when I make my plan. So you were shown a picture, pretend this is a picture, of a rundown building. Okay, do you like this picture for our plan, or do you like this picture of this really, really nice, pretty building, and it's beige, and it's trimmed in green? Which would you rather have? This rundown picture for your town, or the pretty picture? Well gosh, what a surprise, overwhelmingly, everyone picked the pretty picture. Then, through the charrette process, consultant Farr goes to the media and uses this survey as an actual real survey that the public voted for the form-based code. And it is reported as such. So you can see how this process is starting, and it's starting all over the country. Here's the bottom line on the form-based code, using Avanti's, who catered the dinner this evening, as an example. The Avanti's Italian restaurant, now led by family member Rich Seller, has been in business in Normal for almost 40 years. Through their sweat and probably some tears over the years, they worked to determine what made their business a success. They developed a look. Today they call it the brand. They knew through their trial and error, through their bank loans and probably ulcers, how to make their business succeed. If the form-based code were enacted, if it passes, and they were have to rebuild through a firestorm, flood, tornado, whatever, they would be forced to rebuild as a 3-story building and rent the top 2 floors out to neighboring ISU students. They would be forced to become landlords. They never wanted to be landlords. They were restaurant owners. They and other business would be told, here's what you all voted that you wanted it to look like. Now make it work. Initially, this new urbanism plan didn't allow drive-thrus. It didn't fit with the look. The outcry from McDonald's, Walgreens, with prescription drive-ups for the elderlies and us too lazy to want to get out of our cars, and dry cleaning businesses was so great that that was quickly pulled. I know all of you are thinking what we were thinking. No drive-in facilities on Main Street. Are you crazy? The other small print, when you really do your homework, is the consultant himself from Chicago, Mr. Farr. He doesn't like automobiles. It says so on his website. Yes, I am serious. He envisioned a day on our Main Street corridor as a main street with just foot and bicycle traffic. No cars allowed. And my personal favorite, I mean, these are our city planners bring these people in. You know, we aren't making this up. My personal favorite, he had the plan for public showers. This is online, you can read it. Please, this is not, I'm not a comedian. He had a plan for public showers on the bike trail down Main Street so you could take a shower before you go to work on your bike. My 84-year-old grandmother in March is not going to do that. I'm sorry. World-renowned Daily Eye Clinic asked how their patients would get to the clinic if it were made a bike and pedestrian path. The answer, shuttle buses and public transportation. Again, I can't see my 84-year-old mother getting on the bus in Lexington, busing herself to Gailey's, having eye surgery, hailing a bus, and getting herself back home, but that's just me. It sounds like a bad science fiction movie, doesn't it? Well, it's real, and it's coming to a town near you if you don't stay involved, just like you are tonight. Had business owners not been on the ball, this code would have passed the Normal City Council. Instead, through organizing, questioning, and staging, kind of like tea parties, an all-out battle against this little-known new urbanism, it has been tabled for further study. But make no mistake, they'll be back. They always come back because they expect people like business owners to get busy running their businesses again. People like you and me who don't often pay attention to these things because we have lives and children and other things to do, to let our guards down. And one day, it'll be on the City Council's agenda again, and they will be hoping no one is watching. Well, we're watching. And so as I conclude, I thank you again, Donnie Herron, Jason Riddle, and the Campaign for Liberty for the opportunity to be here tonight to continue the fight that the writers of the Constitution fought when they founded this great country. And please believe me, the fight starts right here in rooms like this, on the local level, with people like you who care enough to be involved. As Thomas Jefferson said so well, all tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent. In today's political climate, the success of tea parties, you people, we the people, are remaining silent no longer. Let's keep up the fight.